So what is one thing which you feel most of the people who are starting their life makes mistake when it comes to money? Like what are the most common mistakes they make? Because
Okay.
you've done all of this. Like that's a natural progression for everybody, right?
Right.
Like go to a good college, study well, then get a good job, then go to a good college again, upgrade yourself, then study more, build your experience, and then one day when you experience enough, start something of your own.
Yeah.
This is like a common narrative.
Yeah.
So where do people make mistakes?
Firstly, first mistake is that people start thinking about money once they start making money. That is the first thing.
Okay.
Most people think about money once they get their second paycheck, because the first paycheck they're just going to blow it off.
Party, yeah.
Party, right? Second paycheck is when they start thinking about it. Until then, they've not been. It's not their fault also, because they've never been taught about this in school, so they don't even have the interest to do it. That's number one. Second thing is, once they know that investing is important, what do? We as humans, we always like to think about the best thing in anything, right? In cricket, we'll think about Kohli, right? Because that's the first thing that comes to our head. No, it's recall. So when it comes to investing, what has happened is, because of what the media is talking about all the time, that is stock market, everybody is thinking about what stocks to invest in.
Mm-hmm.
That is the first thing that people make. But this is the real truth, Raj. You can live your entire life without learning how to pick a stock by yourself, right? Asset allocation, which is learning how much to put in the equity, that is more important than learning which stock to pick. Right? But most people are worried about which stock to pick, and to make matters worse, they're thinking about when to put it. Timing, right? This is the most common question that you hear, right?
Yeah.
Is this the right time to invest?
Yeah.
Markets are down. Is it okay? Can I put it now? And that is the least priority thing when it comes to investing, right? So even me, when I started at the age of 19,
Okay.
right? Before I got my job, because I was lucky that because I used to get money from my grandparents during birthday, like most of us get. So I kept collecting it in my money belt. And by the time I was 19, it came up to like 50,000 rupees. So I had to learn how to invest this money, because I didn't want to buy a smartphone or an Apple that time.
Okay.
Right? So I wanted to invest this money. And naturally, even I started learning about stock picking and all of that. And you make a lot of mistakes in the beginning, and then you feel like, stock market is not it. So then most of them will go into fixed deposit. I luckily happened to come across content by some of the greatest YouTube finance content creators on whose shoulders that I stand upon today. The Pranjal Kamra and Rachana Ranade. These are the true pioneers of finance content creation in India. These are the people who made it easy for even me to understand content, finance. So I learned from them, and I realized that there's so many more things to come when it comes to personal finance apart from stock picking. Mutual funds, for example. The reason why most people don't do all of these things, the other things like insurance, mutual funds, tax planning, it's because it is not sexy enough. It's boring. Right? Even if they do it, it's not like 20% returns, 25% returns, 30% returns, or double. Right? Most people in their mind is good is minimum standard in their head is double.
Yes.
Zero risk, double.
Yeah.
That is their minimum standard in their head. Because it is not like that. See, you never heard a story on newspaper or a news channel about a guy who became a crorepati by regularly investing in active mutual funds for 20 years. You will never hear that story. You will hear about Zepto founders who became billionaires at the age of 19. You will hear that. You will never hear these kind of stories.
Yeah.
And these kind of stories are the things which you need to do in life, right? But because it is boring, people are like, I don't want this boring shit. I want to do the harder stuff. I want to learn how to do stock picking. But let me tell you now, see, learning how to pick stocks is great, right? If you learn and if you truly enjoy doing it, and these are the things that you need to do. Read annual reports every year of not just one company, because you're evaluating hundreds of companies, and out of which you're going to invest in 10.
Yeah.
Then read quarterly reports, which is every 3 months, right? Then you have to read investor presentations. Then you're going to have to listen to con calls of board meetings which are happening. So all of these things you have to do along with a full-time job.
Yeah.
A mutual fund manager is already doing all of these things with a team of 5 people. And you're telling me you with a full-time job can do a better job than him. Maybe you can do, right? Because mutual fund manager has some constraints that he cannot invest more than certain amount of money in a company. All those constraints are there. So you have advantage there. But still, he has more manpower than you. Right? But if you can still do it and be better than him, then go for it. But don't force yourself to do it. Because you can make more money by being better at your main job, right? Because 60 to 70% of your wealth creation is happening from income generation. Then 30 to 40% of your wealth creation happens with what you do with that money.
Exactly.
Right? So don't necessarily focus on what you do with that money so much if you have taken care of the basics, right? If you've taken care of 90% of the work, which is asset allocation as per your financial goals, that is 90% of the work. Then if you have more time, then you can do stock picking and all of that. But if you don't enjoy doing it, and if you're constantly making mistakes, don't force yourself to do it. Just focus on being better at your job, getting that promotion, and make more money. Because getting a 20% increment is probably easier than getting 20% returns in the stock market.